from some of the conversations, bro, that you had, because I think this will be really, and I know you talked maybe a little bit about it just now, but what can being in environments like that do for people? Like just in your experience, like what can being in environments like what we were just in, what can they do for people? What would you say?
I mean, if they allow it, right? Like, which has been my challenge some of the times over the years. But if you allow it, I mean, it can change your life. Like literally, one conversation with the right person at the right time can change your life, you know? And I've always heard, and I know you've heard this too, like you can't change people, but you can take people to life changing events. And so being in that environment obviously can do that. And that just seems, if that seems like a stretch, then maybe that's not the right time, or maybe you're not looking to have your life change, but it can change your mindset, which will eventually change your life, or it can positively change your relationship. But it also can revitalize you, man. It can just give you life. You know, but dude, I was talking with a dude there who was in our group, that men's group, the Crucible, and he had fallen off the call a while back, and I hit him up on the side outside of the group call or whatever, and just checked in on him a couple of times, and ran into him at the event, and he comes up and he was just like, "Hey, I love you, brother." I was like, "Man, I love you too, bro. Like, I'm praying for you." He was like, "You know who I just seen?" And he tells me who he's seen, and he was like, "Dude, I had to ask him to pray for me." I'm like, "Well, hey, you got an extra one here too, dude. But like, if that dude prayed over you, you know what I mean? You got some good things coming, but just know, bro, like, we're in the fight with you, bro, like anything you need and stuff." And so, I don't know how in the dumps he was, but I know he was in the dumps, because it takes a lot for somebody to ask another person to pray for them. You know what I mean? Like most people aren't willing to do that. But when you're in an environment that allows you to be comfortable with a situation where most people wouldn't be, I mean, I think that's a game changer, bro. Like that's life changing. And again, to me, it can give life. So it might sound too spiritual for you or whatever the case may be, but I mean, look at it like this, dude. It's energy, right? It's a positive vibration. If you're into the universe or whatever the case may be, if you're not spiritual, it'll be that, right? It'll do something good for you. For me, I went for that reason. I went because the closeout of the year, man, I wasn't feeling that satisfied. And I think a lot of people go through that, Alex. Like, I think a lot of people at the end of the year, they reflect and they look back on the year, and they're like, damn, man, I thought I'd be further along. Dang, man, I thought I would have accomplished a little bit more. Damn, man, like I'm so pissed off with the results or lack thereof, and that's kind of how I was. And to be completely honest, bro, I almost didn't go. I didn't want to go.
So you called me, he was like, "Bro, I'm not even." We talked about them.
Yeah, bro, like legitimately, bro, I didn't want to go. And the craziest part, bro, is like I've got a coach and a leader, right, that knew I needed to be there and pushed me to be there, and I'm forever grateful for her and Sean, because man, it saved me. It brought me back. It revitalized me, right? Like I was re-energized, bro. I got to be the liaison and take care of a group of kids from Uganda that were here to entertain, and and just make sure that they were cared for. And then I got to, drive our keynote speakers to and from, which most people be like, man, I ain't trying to drive nobody. This ain't an Uber. But bro, that conversation that I had in the vehicle for those 20 minutes completely changed my outlook. It literally saved me, right? It gave me energy, bro. It brought me back. It gave me some new perspective. It gave me a couple tools actually that I'm going to implement to better myself, which in turn is going to better my relationship with my spouse, which in turn will better our relationships with our kids, which in turn will better their relationships with their friends, which in turn will better their relationships with their friends, cousins, and whatever. Like there's a ripple effect, bro, to growth. And so with those, I guess this is the most long-winded answer I could possibly give, but you get in the right environments and you grow. Because if you're not growing, essentially you're dying a
Mm.
slow death, right?
Slow, nasty,
Yeah. So,
painful,
so
like from the inside out. Not, I'm right there with you, man. And essentially, I heard this one quote and I wrote it down. It said, "Hey, it said every waterfall started with one drop of water."
man, that's got to be a Chinese something,
Something
bro.
parable, bro. It's got to be a parable for somewhere, bro. But you got to think about that. The truth, but where that can apply, every any success, any business, any successful business we see right now, all started with the drop of water, and that drop of water could be just an idea. That drop of water could be somebody saying, "Oh yeah, that does sound good. You should do that." A drop of water could be like, "Hey, just stand. Hey, a drop of water could be, bro, get to this event."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, bro, whatever you got to do, and to keep that going, to